Thanks to numerous fan requests, we now have a Marshmallow Crochet baby hat. Welcome back to GoodKnit Kisses. I'm your host Kristen, and today we're going to work on the Marshmallow Crochet baby hat. And this is to match the blanket that has been very popular that we made in the fall of 2014. We're going to make it with and without a frill, and you can make it in solid or in striped. Let's look at your supplies. All right, today we're going to be using an L hook or 8mm. If you want to run up a size, then you'll do an N or 10mm. The L will get you a 7-inch and 15-inch circumference hat. The N will get you an 8-inch and 17-inch circumference hat. You're going to want an opening stitch marker, a closable one, okay? Your yarn needle, some scissors, and a measuring tape. And the yarn that we're using is a super bulky number 6, which is the Renat baby blanket yarn. All right, we're going to start this pattern for the hat that's the larger size. So we're going to work with the N hook or 10mm. And I'm going to set aside the L or 8mm. You can go up or down on your hook for a larger or smaller size. Normally we start with a slip knot, but today we're going to lay the working yarn behind our hand here and in front of our fingers like so. Now wrap this around your first finger and crisscross it. See how there's an X here at my knuckle? Now we're going to put the working yarn between these two fingers here and pinch them between our second and third finger to get our tension. Put your hook under this first loop here, okay? And then grab the other one that had crossed over. Okay, now we're going to yarn over and pull through here. And now that magic circle is locked in. We have a circle here, and we can hold our yarn however we want. So we've got our circle and we're ready to begin. This tail here, you're going to trap it in with the circle, and it's going to become a drawstring. I want you to yarn over and pull through 1, 2 chains. So we're chaining 2, and we're going to do 8 double crochets into the circle. Make sure and hold that open. Pull through your yarn. Got my tension. Pull through 2 and 2. That's our double crochet. Let me just slow that down. Now be sure and go through this hole here. So we're going to yarn over, go through the circle, pull through 1, yarn over again, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. One more time, yarn over, go into the circle, yarn over, pull through, yarn over again, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the second 2. So now we have 1, 2, 3 double crochets. We're going to finish this out with 8. Go ahead and continue all the way around. If you need to see that magic circle slower, I will make a second video on that to slow it way down for you. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 and 8. Okay, now that we have got our double crochets done, we can take our tail and pull on it, and it becomes a drawstring to close this circle up. Okay. All right, so we have the middle of the circle closed, and we want to close this pie shape here. So we're going to go into this chain here on the first section, and we're going to slip stitch. So what we did here, to slow that down again, is we went into this chain, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through that one on the hook. So now we have a nice circle to begin our work. This will end up getting woven in and cut later on. So for now, you can just let it lay. I'm going to pick up our working yarn and begin round 1, chain up 2, 1, 2. On round 1, we are not turning. Now we are going to 2 double crochets into this first chain here. So find our first chain straight down, and each round starts with 2 double crochets after the chains into the same stitch. Okay, now each round, the first 4 rounds are all a little different, and then they'll just continue repeating. So this first round only, we're going to go through the very first chain and make the first textured stitch. The textured stitch is going to be a single crochet. Then we're going to do 2 doubles. I'll slow it down on the next one here. That's 1 double and the second double. Okay, so the very next chain, we're going to skip over. We're going to go straight in with our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through both. That's a single. Yarn over, go through, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 and 2. There's our first double crochet. Yarn over, pull through, oops, grab your yarn, yarn over, pull through 2 and 2. Okay, so that's our first textured stitch. That's a single and 2 doubles. Find the next chain. It's going to have, just a reminder, it's going to have 1 loop on the back, 1 loop on the front, and then you're going to go in between. So you'll have a single strand here and 2 on the top. You're going to put your hook in, make sure there's 2 on top. Grab your yarn, yarn over and pull through. That's the single. And then the double is yarn over, go through, pull through 2. Whoops. Let's do that a little faster here. A little slower. Yarn over, go through, pull through 2 and 2. So we've got single, 1 double, and now we're going to do it again. Okay, so that is our textured stitch. We're going to go all the way around each chain until we get to the end, and I'll meet you back in a moment. Pause your video. See you in a minute. All right, we've come to the end of round 1. We're just finishing this off, and we want to slip this together and add our color. But before we do, go ahead and cut this strand here, which I've already done. And let's go ahead and mark our round 1. This is about where round 1 had started. That way you can catch up to where you are. This will be the front side because we're going to start turning now. We're going to go ahead and slip into this top chain up here, pull through just 1 loop, and this is where we're going to change our colors. So we're going to pick up our second color and make a slip knot and place it on our hook. And pull that on through. Chain up 2, 1, 2, and we're going to turn. Okay, so I have this working yarn here. I have my tail for my new working yarn, and then I have my tail for our first color. I'm going to stop and pull this on through here. And that's going to help me lay this extra yarn on the other side. Okay. And then I'm going to work in these 2 tails as I go. And then we have less to weave in later. So go ahead and yarn over, and we're going to do 2 double crochets into this first stitch. Okay, we're doing 2 double crochets, and this is how each round is going to start. We chain up 2 double crochets into the first stitch, locking in these changed colors. Now on round 1, we are going to skip the first chain. We went to the next chain. In round 2, we're going to skip the first chain. So we've got this next chain here, and we're going to go in, do our textured stitch with a single crochet. And now we're going to do 2 doubles. and another double, and repeat that. So just skipping one, so there's the next chain, and go to the one beyond that. Make sure our working strands are, our tails are in there. Okay, and this yarn is very bulky. It's kind of hard to see, but it makes a really soft and cuddly hat. So still the same stitch, a single and two doubles. And when you've got a few of the stitches in here, you can go ahead and let the tails fall to the back. So now these tails are locked in here pretty good, so you don't really have to worry about them. Skip the next chain. So we're just skipping one, a single crochet, two doubles. So on the first round, we went into the next stitch. On the second round, we skipped a stitch. What do you think we're going to do on the third round? Right, we're going to skip two stitches. Now it doesn't continue after that in that way. Round 3 is going to be something that we're going to repeat over and over, and then we'll be changing color. Round 3 is the main pattern, but on round 4 is our decreasing round, so you're going to want to hang around for that. So we've skipped one. Now I'm going to single crochet, double, and double. Okay, skip, single crochet, double, double, and for a slower video, please check my channel on these stitches. You'll find slower videos by myself and by Michael with Crochet Crowd. He has some videos on my channel and I on his. We work together. And on my Marshmallow Crochet baby blanket, you'll find the video as well. And I do go a little slower on that one, but I'm going to assume that you have made that blanket and are making this matching hat. And the links will be below. This pattern will be available on my blog and also as a convenient PDF to download if you'd like to purchase that. That just helps me with maintenance on my site and things like that. Oh, here we go. One more. Okay, we're almost all the way around. Okay, so we've got this gap here, and that's actually what we want because we would normally be skipping and then going straight on, but we don't have enough room for that. So we're going to slip into the next area here where the chain was. Okay, so we're slip stitching. Okay, and now we're going to chain up, 2, and then turn. So always chain first and then turn, and then you're ready for round 3. Round 3 is double crochet twice into the same stitch there. Okay, here's where we do the textured stitch again. So we skipped the first 2 chains and we're going to go in here to the third, single crochet, and then double twice, okay, skipping over. And on this round you'll be able to see very clearly where you need to go. I'll show you in just one moment. Let's finish this stitch. When you skip over on this particular round, you will see where there was the 2 taller double crochets and then the shorter single. So you can see that you're skipping all the way over to that one. This round is unique to this round, and then much later rounds we're going to decrease on round 4, and after round 4 on round 5 it'll be slightly different on round 5 only. Okay, single crochet, because you'll have to count on round 4. You'll have to count much and 5. You have to count how many chains that you've gone in order to get the decreases right. All right, continue this around and meet me back up at the end of round 3. Okay, we're at the end of round 3, and we're going to slip stitch and only pull through a partial and add on the loop for our second color. Pull that on through. I've already done it in advance. Okay, go ahead and chain up just as you would before. And remember, we turn after we chain up. I'm going to put my yarn at the back here, and I put my extra tail through. Okay, and we're going to double crochet just as before, same beginning for every round. There's not a change here. One more double crochet. Okay, so the next time, this round here, we will still skip 2 and go over to this open spot here and do our single. This is the textured stitch. Do a double. One more double. Okay, so we've done one textured stitch. We're going to do our second textured stitch, same place, single, double. It's the first double, and then the second double. That makes the textured stitch. Now remember, you're seeing this extra extra yarn because that's my tail back here. So now I'm going to let it fall to the back. So now that we did our beginning and then we have 2 textured stitches, now we're going to make a change. This is the decrease. We're doing a 2-to-1 ratio. So 2 the standard, and then we're going to do a smaller version of the textured stitch. 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet. That's all. Okay, that's it. Now we're going to do it again. 2 of the regular textured and then a smaller version. So a single, double, double, okay, single, double, double, and then the small version. one single, one double. Okay, so continue that. You'll notice it's going to start kind of bending on you. That's what we want it to do. So continue to the end of the round, and I'll meet you back at the end of round 4. Okay, we're at the end of this round. That was the decrease round, and we've got a single. Well, it's the smaller textured stitch. We're going to slip stitch as before. We're not changing color here. Okay, so we're going to double crochet, turn. Okay, now we're back to the front of the hat. So your hat will end up rounding like this. So, but you can flip it back and forth, whatever's easier for you. But this area will tell you which is the right side. So now we're going to start round 5. Double crochet twice into the first chain. And we're back to the same as round 3 that I was talking about earlier. We're just going to skip 2 and do the textured stitch all the way around, but you're going to have to count this round only. So we're going to skip 1, 2, and it's not going to line up as it did before. This is the only round that this happens. Okay, so that's how you're going to complete the rest of this pattern. You're going to continue to change after 2 rows of color and continue with skipping 2 and making our textured stitch, and continue all the way around, and I will meet you back up for the last row, which is round 10. Pause your video and I'll see you in a moment. Okay, we're at the end of our round 9, and we want to slip stitch and pull in the next color. Already got my slip knot on here. Pull that through. Okay. We want to chain up 2. Turn that over. Okay, we're going to double crochet into the first, just like we've been doing. 1, and 2. Okay, so now we have the option. You've got a decision to make. You can make one more row and do it as we have done the last several rounds and fasten it off, or you can make a frilly edge. We're going to do the frilly edge here, so you can continue on and fasten it off. If you need help with fastening it off, just skip to the end of the video, and let's continue to make the frilly edge. So it's okay that you've already started this way and it's not necessarily the frilly. We're going to go into every chain, still putting your extra tails here, and we're going to go into the back stitch of every chain. So find the next chain, go into the top of it, and get that back loop. Pull that through, make your single crochet, and go ahead and trap in that yarn here now that you've found your loop. And we're going to double crochet around that, still making the entire textured stitch just through that back loop. Oops. Okay, so it's going to seem very loose, and it is. So then you're going to go into the next one, pull that through, single crochet, and now we're going to do a double. Make sure you're trapping in those tails. It's harder to trap it in on the single crochet, so just wait and do it with the double. Okay, moving on to the next one. You see that you've got this stitch here, so it's got 2 loops. You're just going into the one on the very back. It's a little hard to see on this yarn, but you can feel it real well because that thread's in the middle. So we've done our single, grab these 2 loose threads and go around them back into that back loop. Oops, we're doing a double. I stopped. Yarn around that, pull it through and make it a double. Okay, so you can see that you're getting this extra little frill going on here. See how it's already starting to move around like that? So what it's doing is you're going in that back stitch and it's creating this little ruffle. So we're going to continue around and I will meet you back at the end. And we've come to the end. We've got one last to go. Do one more single crochet. Got a double and one last double. And we're going to go in and slip. Okay, and then you're just going to pull this on through. And I'm going to cut this. Pull that out. I've got a little short. That's okay. I normally don't cut it that short, but it's late when I'm filming. And we'll just weave in the ends here. And I'm going to put one last little knot through the end on this one. If you get it cut short for yourself by accident, you can also sometimes I take the needle out. Well, usually when I'm winding really long and I'm at the end, and then I just put it through the stitch that I want, and then I just pull it through. Anyway, finish weaving that in. Weave in any leftover yarns that you haven't cut off yet. The ones that we had locked in, they should already be done. We've got this last one here on the inside. Let's go ahead and take care of that now. And some people will cut this right off because they draw a string and in, but I like to go ahead and put it in just a few more. So I'm just gonna kind of go work my way around one more time, pulling it through, and then you can cut it off. And we've already got all of our extra tails for some of these other ones. Go ahead and cut them off. Flip it around, and we have a cute hat with a ruffle on it. All right, well, I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial today. Thanks again for joining me at GoodKnit Kisses. Be sure and get the pattern online on our blog. Check the link below. I'd love for you to subscribe and give me a comment and tell me what you thought of the hat. Thanks so much. Have a great day and happy crochet. Bye-bye.